Today, we're tackling a topic that's absolutely crucial for every pilot, especially those of us flying in the UK, airspace infringement. It's a subject that can seem daunting, but understanding it is key to safe and responsible flying. We'll break down what an infringement is, why it matters, and most importantly, how to avoid becoming another statistic. Now, imagine you're flying, everything's routine, and then suddenly a radio call. You crossed into restricted or controlled airspace.
Helicopter Golf Alpha Bravo Hotel Lima. Turn right immediately. You are inside controlled airspace.
What happens next? Well, this isn't a hypothetical scenario. It's a real life situation. Over 1,200 airspace infringements occur every year in the UK alone. And the lessons learned could save your license or even your life. So stick around to find out how easily this can happen, what happens next, and how to learn from the aftermath. First of all, what exactly is an airspace infringement? Well, the UK CAA, the Civil Aviation Authority, defines it as the unauthorised entry into controlled or temporary restricted airspace or an active danger area by an aircraft. Now, this isn't just about big commercial airspaces around major airports like London. It involves air traffic zones, radio mandatory zones, and transponder mandatory zones, amongst others. Why is it so serious? Well, because having an uncoordinated aircraft entering controlled airspace creates a significant safety risk, potentially leading, at worst, to a mid-air collision. It also places a huge burden on the air traffic controllers who must immediately reroute other aircraft to maintain separation, disrupting traffic flow and increasing risk across the whole air traffic system. Analysis by the CAA has identified several key causal factors. Firstly, emissions during flight planning. Now, this comes down to basics. Many incidents stem from inadequate pre-flight briefing, not reading NOTAMs, or simply not planning at all, therefore missing the opportunity to identify areas of controlled airspace along or nearby their route. Next up, incomplete threat or error management, TEM. Distraction from passengers, whether electronic flight bags, moving map tablets, or even new avionics is a major culprit, all things that could be picked up using the concept of threat and error management. Pilot misidentification, errors in identifying landmarks or missing air traffic control instructions, and pilots can also suffer from confirmation bias, where they press on despite unexpected conditions, where they misidentify a landmark or have cognitive tunneling, fixating on one task and missing other critical information. Altimeter setting errors. Now, this is a common issue when flying on a local QNH or an airfield QFE and then not updating the altimeter setting. An issue where the airspace or the controlled airspace is tiered. So, for example, around London City Airport, the western edge of Luton, the low-level corridor of Manchester, or indeed the southern stub of Stansted's controlled area, which encompasses Northfield Airfield. Incorrect use of VFR moving map technology. Despite their power, GPS tools that provide a moving map functionality are often misused or ignored. In 2017, correct use of moving map technology, either by built-in avionics or through a moving map on a tablet, could have prevented 85% of the analysed infringements. Flying too close to airspace boundaries. Almost half of the infringements analysed involved this. The CAA has an initiative called Take Two, which recommends staying at least 200 feet vertically and 2 nautical miles horizontally from controlled airspace boundaries. Skill fade. Reduced flying leads to a decline in proficiency. So if you are out of practice, consider going up with an instructor or using the TEM principles to making sure that you become proficient again, initially with more basic, simple flights that perhaps don't involve such complex radio telephony procedures, staying away from controlled airspace. Finally, lack of air traffic services or frequency monitoring codes. Many pilots don't use frequency monitoring codes, often otherwise known as listening squawks, or indeed don't monitor the associated frequency, preventing air traffic controller from providing a timely warning of an airspace infringement. So, how do I avoid this? Well, it all starts with good planning. Use up-to-date charts, navigation tools, and know where controlled, restricted, and danger areas are. Plan your route carefully, both laterally and vertically. Now, An infringement isn't all just about a paperwork issue. It can cause air traffic control delays, force commercial aircraft to divert, break off from the approach, and put lives at risk. So, before every flight, check the NOTAMs and the weather conditions. Look out for any temporary restrictions, air shows, or indeed poor visibility or weather that can affect your route and could become a distraction that will cause you to wander off course. Run through a flight day checklist. Are you safe to fly? Is your aircraft ready? Have you reviewed the latest airspace updates? Stick to your plan. Stay alert in the aircraft. Weather, turbulence, or distractions, even from your passengers, can push you off course. Monitor your position consistently and carefully. Make use of a lower airspace radar service or listening squawks. Set your transponder to the correct VFR code. Talk to ATC and listen out when needed. They can give you early warning that you're getting too close to an airspace boundary and potentially get you to turn away before the infringement, thus saving a whole load of paperwork and aggro. Technology like ADS-B makes you more visible to controllers and other pilots, but it's no substitute for a good lookout and communication. And obviously this only works if you're listening on the right frequency and have a listening squawk dialed in. Take the chance after a flight to have an honest debrief with yourself. Review your track if you are able to record your flight progress itself. Did you stay accurately within your planned route? Were there any features that you perhaps misidentified, and what could you do to improve next time? What to do if you actually end up infringing accidentally? Well, if you realise you've entered controlled airspace without clearance, the first and most important thing is to stay calm. Even with suitable planning, we're all human and therefore prone to errors. The fundamental framework to remember is aviate, navigate, and communicate. The immediate priority is to fly the aircraft and to maintain control, followed by understanding your position and planning a safe exit. And finally, establishing communication to seek assistance if the air traffic control unit hasn't already reached out to you. Try and contact the relevant ATC unit, provide your position, altitude, and intentions. Cooperate fully and follow their instructions, and after landing, you'll just have to file a mandatory occurrence report. Now, through the MOR, the Mandatory Occurrence Report System, the CA investigates every infringement, and they do this under the process laid out in CAP 1404. Most cases, about 95%, are resolved through education and retraining. However, serious or repeated violations may lead to license suspension or even prosecution. Fortunately, this is incredibly rare. If you do infringe, you might be asked to complete a CA infringement tutorial and pass the test. This covers airspace structure, planning and best practices, and it's designed to reinforce safe flying habits and prevent future incidents. So, finally, how to avoid infringements in the first place? Well, here's some good tips. Plan thoroughly using updated charts. Check your NOTAMs before flight. If you've got access to it, use GPS navigation tools or some sort of electronic flight bag, an iPad. Maintain situational awareness. Stay in touch with a flight information service or a lower airspace radar unit. Use listening squawks if available, and don't hesitate to ask air traffic control for clarification of a clearance, or if you're uncertain of your position, ask for a position check or use the distress and diversion on 121.5 for some help. So, avoiding airspace infringements, it's not just about rules, it's about responsibility. Thanks for watching. If you find this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and look out for further aviation insights. Till then, fly safe. Thank you.